"I don't know if he's there," said Jesse Vazquez, a longtime friend and patient of Ivan's, while en route to the Martinez house from Bayamón last week. "I don't know if he's got refrigeration. I don't know if he's got power." Ivan and his wife, Carmen, have been practicing iridology, a method of alternative medicine that claims to identify problems with one's internal health through certain patterns and colors in the iris for nearly 60 years. Vazquez, a 69-year-old U.S. military veteran, has known the couple for 37 years, but it wasn't until about 3 years ago that he consulted them about an alternative treatment for his aortic stenosis, a degenerative heart condition caused by a childhood case of rheumatic fever. Slideshow: in the wake of Maria, aerial views of devastation in Puerto Rico. Central mountain towns like Ciales were among the hardest hit by Maria, and Vazquez hadn't been able to contact Martinez since the storm. However, upon arriving at their house, which stands alone beside a river on an unnamed mountain road, it quickly became clear that the couple were, in some ways, better off up here than many others below. "Here we don't need anything, not water or food or lights or nothing," Ivan, 82, said proudly of the home he built himself 25 years ago and outfitted with solar panels and a sophisticated rain collection system that have kept the lights on and water running, while most Puerto Ricans now enter their 4th week without at least one of these basic utilities. But Carmen, Ivan's longtime partner in alternative healing, was not nearly as content. The couple had been completely without phone or internet connection since the storm, and 79-year-old Carmen, who walks with a cane and suffers from a neurological condition that causes chronic pain in her mouth and jaw, is keenly aware of how isolated they are. Not only that, but, she pointed out, the house is sitting in the direct path of a potential mudslide. "It's very dangerous," Carmen said, carefully making her way across the warping wood floor of the living room, which flooded during the storm, through the patient exam room, and onto the back porch, which overlooks the river. "In the corner back there is a mudslide," she said, pointing to the side of the house. "The house is, like, 12 inches from the slide. That's too close." Slideshow: Puerto Rico after Hurricane Maria. Carmen surveyed the tangled mess of branches and roots of the avocado and banana trees that once lined their property. "Do you see that?" she asked, gesturing toward the river where an ox stood stoically, looking up at the house, his tan-colored hide almost blending in with the mudded water flowing behind him. She has no idea where he came from, but said he's been out there for about a month, just standing and staring. "He survived Maria," she said. "I call him Lolo." Out on the porch, overlooking her ravaged property, Carmen reflected on what she and her family, Lolo included, has experienced these past few weeks. "It was like a nightmare," she said of Maria. "It is a nightmare. The Martinez's 3 daughters used to live in Puerto Rico but now all live on the mainland," she explained. Their only son had been living in Lajas, on the southern coast of the island, when the hurricane hit. "He lost everything," she said. "Everything, everything. Right now," she continued, "his wife is going to New York with the family. They sent the boys already, but my son is staying in Puerto Rico. He doesn't like New York." Carmen fears her husband will be just as stubborn about staying put, but she's intent on leaving the island, preferably for Orlando, where one of their daughters lives. "For 2 weeks since the hurricane, they couldn't pass on the roads," said Ivan. "It was difficult and dangerous to get up here. It hasn't been very easy to get down the mountain either, and going to the supermarket in Ciales, even just for rice and beans, means waiting in long lines, sometimes for hours in the heat. Right now, it isn't easy," Carmen said. "We are just living by faith." A couple of days earlier, nearly 3 weeks after the hurricane, the Martinezes received a visit from a single employee with the Federal Emergency Management Agency, or FEMA. Carmen recalled that the agent, a woman, was very nice and asked me about the things that we need, but did not offer them any water, food, or other supplies. Asked whether she expected the woman from FEMA to return, Carmen replied, "I hope so."